It was an odd conversation. So a couple visitors come in. Um, Matthew and his mother Beatrice. I remember the names. It's funny. Your name is John? I'm Matthew. All we need to do is wait for the other two, and then we, we can take over the world. A little bit of biblical humor. I was able to say that in the morning. Biblical. It's hard when you're not awake yet. Anyway, almost as soon as he gets out of the car, Michael starts talking about artificial intelligence. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Throat. I can't even talk. And maybe 15 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago, I would have thought, wow, this guy's kind of off the beam. He comes in, walking the trails, immediately starts talking about AI. But hey, it's a weird, weird world. And we were discussing, James Oppenheimer. James, is it? One of the people that worked on the Manhattan Project, the atomic bomb. How later in life, he sat in this dark room, and I think he had throat cancer at this point, just a bleak room. And he was talking about developing the atomic bomb. I know, it's a cheerful thing to talk about in the morning. And the statement that sticks out is like, I have become death. It's like a lot of these people thought, oh boy, this is fun, this is interesting. Let's develop this world-destroying weapon. What an adventure! And then they did, and Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the potential for everything else. And then it hit them. We have become death. In this whole artificial intelligence thing, it's like people don't learn. We are such a self-destructive species. Artificial intelligence could be worse than atomic weapons. It could, because artificial intelligence actually, by definition, has the ability to think. Where atomic weapons, they're not going to do anything. We don't need to build them. We don't need to launch them, detonate them. But artificial intelligence brings things to a whole new level, where there's this thing that's hooked into our power grid, and every manner, water supplies, everything that modern people used to live, and we're turning it over to this robotic type of system that doesn't even like us. It doesn't hate us. It doesn't like us. If we get in the way, we're going to be eliminated. I'm thinking it might only be 10, 15 years, maybe even less, before the people that developed artificial intelligence and are still working on it. We need to develop artificial intelligence. We need to create this new species of unorganic life that doesn't like us, doesn't hate us, doesn't like us, and may decide that we're in the way and it's just going to get rid of us. And I can just picture the people developing AI and how many years it takes for this new thinking life form, to figure that we're disposable and it doesn't need us. And then they're going to be saying, we have become death. I'm going to segue into, if you just watch a legacy news channel, I know that not everyone is like on my side of the fence. And you may just watch certain aspects of news instead of watching everything, analyzing, and trying to figure out where's the truth. You might not be aware of the number. I think it's up to 20 now. Major food distribution centers, food processing centers, and food storage, big warehouses like Azure, one of the largest, purveyors of bulk food, have been destroyed by fire. Weird things, airplanes crashing in the food processing plants, which is going to further, put a stress on our supply chain. That is just weird. It's coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. I also am not silly enough to believe that the people that are running the show care about us. You know, we're being ruled by bankers. Um, segue number three, no, number two is bows. Let's talk about bows, and I'm gonna share some insight into possible money saving tricks that you and I can use. And it has to do with, again, a segue. Now, I was originally going to be passing this bow along and keeping this one for myself. But the person that was going to get this bow would prefer this bow just for user friendliness, practicality, and he's a fellow that hunts a lot. It's a 27-inch draw and doesn't want to, and I understand, you know, have to modify his everything shooting. So I worked this one down so it's his weight at 27 inches of draw, and I shall keep this one. Let me put this one away. And so I have a bow of Defiance, you know, in many ways and many layers. Now, if things come to pass and we can't go out, you know, there's less food. I'm sitting on a lot of like dried goods. I mean, lentils and beans and rice and quinoa and canned fish, and it's not going to go to waste. I'm going to eat it eventually, you know, but if I can't go to the grocery store for some reason, I've got that. Got some fishing poles. I live in the Land O'Lakes, and the ability to make bows. I don't need to suddenly go out and spend $1,000 on a compound bow, you know, in case there's no meat to be had. I need to hunt, you know, for various and sundry reasons. Don't need to spend all that money on a compound bow, because when you filter out meat per pound, got one deer or one turkey or one squirrel at a cost of the bow and the accessories, because you have to glue crap on your bow, you know, the shock absorbers and sights and all these things, range detectors. You know, you could easily get up to $1,500 or just go to eBay and buy a used one. But let's just carry this on to its conclusion. I've got $1,500 in my compound bow and I got a deer, so that boils it down to like, I don't know, $150 a pound or something like that. Get my drift. And so I've got this. It's short, 53 inches. And I want to create my ultimate EDC type of thing. My Batman utility belt. So, bow sheath, or a bow sock, or a bow case, quiver, various pouches for stuff, fire making tools, all what have you. So it's just in one neat package. Short bow slung over my back. I've got the arrows, I've got the arrowheads on the arrows, got everything I need all in one nice neat package. But what do you make that out of? Has to be brain tanned leather. And so you go and you're, like I talk about, brain tan leather. I can get a deer hide for $300. It's a lot of money. Think about cost per pound again. But I was thinking, did you know that, and we're purists here, we are, that egg tanning is comparable to brain tanning? I don't have any brains. I'm the scarecrow. But I have access to eggs. So all I need is some rawhide. I'm out of rawhide. I had a bunch of it and that I got and then I made. And I'm about out of it. And so I was shopping around. What would be comparable to a deer? What about a big goat? You can get a sheet of goat rawhide for under 50 bucks. Probably shipping included. It's a lot cheaper than a deer or elk or what have you. Because goats are raised by farmers, and there are a plethora of goats farmers out there. Get a goat hide. I found a site, $36 for a goat hide. Run out, get a dozen eggs. Can egg tan that goat hide and make something that is perfectly allowable. It's comparable to brain tan leather, and I can make my bow case, quiver, strap, outfit, few pouches, do some fancy work on it. So I've got a complete package here. And I'm fine with short draw bows. This actually is 60 pounds at 18 inches. I'm good with an 18-inch draw, whatever, even less. And that's about it. I would suggest thinking about egg tan and goat rawhide if you want some brain tan leather and you don't have the bucks to spend. Again, economy is good, using the materials at hand. Watch out for AI. I think my phone is infected with it. I might go to track phones. If I can find like a flip phone that has no connection to data and all that other crap. Texting and talking. Enough for me. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. And sorry about being kind of draggy in the beginning of this video, but it's stuff to think about. Definitely stuff to think about.